teams. The picks and bans are ready. Juggernauts on the left, Minotaurs on the right. And the bans coming out. Last time we saw a team forgo all bans. And then the other side kind of banned like Loki and stuff. This time around, we'll see where these squads are looking for.
I'm going to be curious to see what poison that they're going to pick to fight against, because you're going to pick gods that you're probably expecting the opponents not to play very often. For example, Arachne, competitively, she's not really played unless your name is Verizial. So, but at the same time, you might not be playing against those gods very often as well.
So I'm sorry, I can't control myself. If you guys don't remember, it was Hell versus Uller in that assault match. And I don't think the players that had to fight against the stand-switching healer were none too happy about dealing with that one. And if you look so far, all three characters banned right now.
Juggernauts are having a little laugh at that as well.
They got one thing in common.
Yeah, nobody likes healers on these two teams. Juggernauts and Minotaurs making a statement here.
Chonga, not available. Neither will Hell or Afro or Ra. The first pick, Juggernauts on the clock. Easy Nami.
Ooh, very difficult god to really play competitively because of how the escape works. It takes a little bit of a charge up to use that third ability. Even though you go stealth mode and can go through player deployables and walls, it's not a very common god to be played in Season 4.
It's still fun watching these players because when you look at guys like Zeros and guys like Panda Cat, these dudes kind of pride themselves on playing the oddball stuff.
I'm predicting it now. It's going to be Hunters versus Hunters all across the board.
Yo, I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Now, I do like the fact that Xbalanque was first picked because when you look across the way, so Minotaurs, wait, totally.
Yes.
How does this work? Are Juggernauts picking for
Four Minotaurs? Yes.
So the team so Juggernauts Izanami will be played by the Minotaurs or the Juggernauts?
I'm assuming that Minotaurs have picked 4 Juggernauts here.
I'm so
on
Izanami.
Izanami. Chronos.
I'm so perplexed right now.
Interesting.
The point I was going to say is that Barracuda's least favorite hunter is Xbalanque. And so if Minotaurs are picking for the other side, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know what's going on.
Well, actually, because Barracuda really likes X-Ball.
No, Barracuda hates X-Ball.
I thought he liked it.
No, he despises Xbalanque.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Barra, do you like Xbalanque or no?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
He can't hear us.
He's too focused.
He's focused on picking that Jingwei.
He's like,
He just shrugged. He's like, I don't care. But Jingwei with his selection, you were right. All hunters so far, Tolford.
It's going to be a lot of glass cannon action here. We'll see if it's going to be some physical defense or some lifesteal in their builds as the game will start. But already, I like the dynamic opportunity between these two teams as opposed to 5 Guardians against 5 Guardians.
Pass ban coming out from the Minotaurs. Juggernauts now on the clock with another pass ban.
I mean, they still had to ban Sylvanas was left open. Hades was still left open.
Hades is like accidental heal.
No, it's intentional heal. You can find some intentional healing in there.
Accidental was the wrong word. Incidental heal, though, right? Like you heal by doing other things because you're exploding minions.
What's up?
Is Neith cheating?
Well, that's self-healing. That's not really... See,
is
Chiron would be cheating.
Is Chiron cheating?
A little bit.
Artemis.
A lot of non-mobility gods here for Juggernauts. Even though Neith has a backflip, you could predict the trajectory of where she will land. And Kurnos' dash isn't necessarily the most distance cover, so very easy to really lock that down. And another god that can't really escape from danger.
He's got healing.
He does have the HP 5 from his hives. You are correct. That is some self-sustain.
And the last selection from Minotaurs. What hunter is left? Totally don't look. Guess. Which one?
Okay. I'm not going to look. My back is turned. Who is open? There's Huyi, Cupid, Chiron.
Can't be Cupid because you got to heal.
Okay, that is true. Cupid does have a heal. You can't really go for that route. Something has been locked in. I'm going to guess Huyi.
Nope, they cheated. It's Chiron.
Wow, look at Barracuda.
The last selection with the sustain. Chiron will be here. Xbalanque, Apollo, Jingwei, Medusa, and Chiron versus Izanami, Kurnos, Neith, Artemis, and Amusing Cobb. Who do you think comes out on top?
I think the late game Juggernauts might have it late game just because it's Artemis and Amuse and Cobb, but I think the mid-game teamfight potential should favor out Minotaurs simply because of that Petrify.
I mean, you have the Petrify, you also have the Apollo ability to go ahead and split push fantastically. Jing Wei to join the team fight at any point in time, and Xbalanque to turn out the lights.
However, Artemis from the Juggernauts could create a lot of chaos and havoc with that ping-ponging Tusky all across the board.
For me, you've got just raw power on the side of the Juggernauts. I'm using Cobb is going to go ahead and just win every 1v1. Artemis is going to crit everybody to death. Kernos is going to do Kernos. And then Minotaurs have this more like eclectic team fight synergy type deal. So will it be the hammer or will it be the more intense playmakers on the side of Minotaurs? Pick your poison. At least not Guardians, folks. Let's get right into it. We'll see which team comes out on top as the Hunters.
You gotta be very happy if you're Barracuda and Panic Cat just to be able, because you literally live day in and day out practicing Hunters anyway, so no matter where they rotate, they don't have to worry about a Warrior, a Guardian, an Assassin. They're just gonna have another Hunter versus Hunter matchup.
I'm actually really surprised to see Variety wind up the Neath wind up in the hands of Variety instead of the hands of Yaman. Yaman's like a Neath guy, and it's going to be Variety playing the solo Neath.
Well, either way, it's still going to work out well in terms of just throwing out the global. You're going to be able to make an impact on the dual lane, whether you're mid or the solo lane. And Neath has a very safe time clearing in that solo lane against another Hunter anyway. I didn't really see who Benji was playing.
But you know who doesn't have a safe time in the mid lane? Amuse and Cobb.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. Shove him in the solo.
That is true. However, his damage potential is there. As long as he has somebody else in front of him to be able to absorb that damage, and Cubo Fred has some self-sustain with shifting of the seasons. You keep yourself in spring season, you're going to get that extra lifesteal, and that could be a tactic that Juggernauts can use here. Have Cubo Fred tank, have Yaman deal damage, and move forward.
Juggernauts did a really good job here. If you want to, like, let's take the X's and O's quite seriously for a quick moment. Juggernauts did a really good job of making sure that Minotaurs didn't have a go-to option for the jungle. Cubo Fred of this Kernos can jungle no problem. His second ability allows him a decent amount of wave clear, plus getting up close and personal with your basic attacks gives you augmented damage on top of the Bumbus Mask. Looking at the Minotaurs, adapting opted for the Apollo, but it's not like an Honor.
That's probably why we didn't see Anher, Uller, or Huyi, because those three gods are very good at jungling, so should be a slight advantage for Cubo Fred to be able to out-clear adapting in that jungle role, but once the items get a little bit more online here, adapting will be able to start melting these objectives because of that Audacity passive.
Minotaurs heading into the right side of the jungle. Both players looking for the neutral camps. Benji versus Variety. Basic versus basic.
Shell.
There's the shell, and the active saves the game. Variety starts this one off hot with an Eve basic first blood for the Juggernauts.
You know, it's a little risky sometimes to avoid going teleport, but in a Hunter versus Hunter matchup, you might as well be a little bit selfish. You go for either a Bracer of Undoing for a little bit of health return and cooldown reductions once you upgrade it, or you go for the Shell for not only being selfish in laning phase, but to help out in team fights once they start kicking off.
Love that play. Love this play as well. Nice protection coming out from the Chiron player. Panic Cat being able to protect his support this time around. Nice shifting of the roles. Raffer gets saved thanks to Panic Cat's hot body blocks and the slow.
And Panic Cat actually helping Barracuda get a little bit closer to the action. Jeff is going to use the dash of his Tsunami to cut the distance, forcing Panic Cat to retreat under his own tier 1 tower, and looking like the Sex Tank combination here out of North America is getting the better end out of the Minotaurs at least.
Jeff Hindla, man. Izanami goes to the hand of Jeff Hindla. That's one of the more rough situations I think that we've seen in a while. Jeff, famously not very practiced on some of the other characters outside of the Guardian position. So, interesting choice.
A little bit of boxing in the dual lane yet again. And if there was ever a utility Hunter to put in the hands of Jeff Hindla, I would expect it to be a Neath instead. But I think the whole idea and mindset for Juggernauts was just to keep the global in the solo lane. And that's the same exact mentality that Minotaurs had by picking Benji's Xbalanque.
Jeff Hindla's in trouble, finds to dash away. Raffer able to protect Panic Cat one more time. Pings coming out as the Bumblebee making his way towards the Gold Fury. We're looking for these oracles and anything else. The ultimate is out. Hugo, Fred, and Yaman heading their way, adapting with a nice body block. And Yaman hitting level 5 finds the ultimate. Jeff Hindley cleans it up. Kill number 2. Juggernauts off to a tear.
It's not very often that adapting will bite the bullet to save a teammate, but having the Aegis was a smart idea to be able to absorb that Neath ultimate. However, the cripple from the Stinger out of a Moose and Ka prevents the dash from happening, and by level 1, you only get a choice of 1 relic, so investing into Aegis, no beads, you can't beat the cripple and dash away.
You know, this kind of excites me, and you know, fun stuff like this is sometimes where you get the audacity, no pun intended, to try new stuff, right? And you get Yaman over here in the mid lane on this Amusing Cobb. Amusing Cobb is a character that, you know, jokes aside, real talk, I like this character. He's notoriously dangerous. Variety in some danger himself.
And Variety trying to backflip away, but he's trying to go back in for the root into the weave. Unfortunately, not going to be able to connect as Benji used that dash aggressively. Nice return kill for Minotaurs, abusing the Neath backflip.
Here's what I was trying to say, though. I want to see AMC more in real Smite games.
He does a lot of damage just in hands and his ability to clear the wave just like that.
Just like that. Cripple is good. Dash forward from QO, Fred. Not going to be enough to find the kill, but, I mean, he's explosive. Again, middle lane, maybe a little bit too dangerous. But you shove this guy in the solo lane when you're frontline someplace else, I think Yaman here is trying to say, look, you know, maybe this AMC pick is real.
If we look at yesteryear, when a Moose and Cobb was first released, his Honey did a lot of damage. I believe at level 1, his Honey did somewhere between 18 to 22 damage a second.
Yeah.
And that was very obnoxious for any warrior to deal with. And Moose and Cobb was reigning supreme. And then designers realized, like, all right, it's time to peel it back a little bit. We can't be having any bees in the solo lane.
Yeah, no bees in the trap this time around. Said he's going to be hanging out in the mid lane. And that would be, you know, again, if he had some way to protect himself, that would be where he would wind up anywhere outside of the duo lane. I mean, he's sort of like one of these 1v1 mages, kind of akin to a Chronos, right? Big, heavy damage on single target, and the ability. The crazy thing about it is, if you pick up that Stinger, you're also on a 15-second cooldown or so.
Reduces the cooldown quite heavily.
That's out of this world.
I think it's actually like around 20 seconds or so, but still, that's a significant cooldown to be spamming, especially in the solo lane.
Yeah.
And when you're expecting your opposition to use that teleport to get back in after the poke, you got your Stinger back up anyway, and you're really controlling a lot of space by just pouring some of this honey on the ground.
There's also, it's a little bit harder to control, but the disarm effect that Yaman can also bring to the table. You got to be able to land a couple of basics and then have the bees passive, and like I said, it's harder to control. It's not RNG, but it's one of those things that are slightly out of like complete control for the player.
You just got to make sure that you keep your distance away from anyone that is infected with bees, including the minions, as that can spread.
Raffer stuck in the little crevice right
Raffer,
there. Finds
hello?
the ultimate, dashes out. Nice help from the Shibalanke. All 4 players on the left-hand side of the map will be using the shell, expecting to get engaged on, but it's QO Fred who meets Raffer right before he finds himself in the lane. And adapting takes to the sky to no avail, lands back in the mid lane.
Thought that maybe he could find a return kill, trying to save his support out of energy, but it's just a little bit too quick of a death there. Now Yaman trying to box against Zeros.
There's the ultimate, the dash forward, one shot, and QO Fred helps out his mid laner. Yaman didn't have the hive down, which is exactly when you want to go for the AMC. When AMC has his hives down, there's no one that can 1v1 him.
What mechanics displayed out of Barracuda, recognizing Panda Cat was just going to dash into him, drops the trap right at his feet, allows himself to keep running forward, knowing Panda Cat would roll right over that one.
Bad carpets this time, going to be shared up. Panda Cat waiting to find somebody here. Nobody going to show up, so he'll just take back to the wave here. 4-1 at 7 minutes. Juggernauts leading just by a hair. We'll basically call this one tied up, folks, despite the fact that the kills are certainly in the blue team's favor. Everything else seems to be about even.
Both these teams have to be very mindful about any Gold Fury attempts, because 2 Hunters can keep that Gold Fury leashed indefinitely by just keeping it right outside the circle of the rim. You're pulling it out of the Gold Fury leash, and then you have somebody on the other side, and then you're basically playing ping pong with the Gold Fury.
I mean, that becomes your Hunters. You're going to be able to do a lot of objective damage, so should definitely be on everybody's mind. Quite a different story from last game, where we saw 10 Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians are not the easiest by themselves to get Gold Furies around the level 9 mark. They definitely help a lot in terms of boosting other player potentials. You're looking at some Secures with the Ymir or the Fafnir's Coerce.
There's trouble, and Shibalake drops the lights out. Jeff Hindley gets grabbed. Dash away is good, but Zeros doesn't need accuracy when he's got the big old Pestilence. There goes the kill. Petrify.
Ooh, Adapting's in the sky as well, wanting the kill so badly on Cubo Fred. Finding the Mez, needs to find the in-hand. Zero's credited with the kill.
Adapting got lucky there. He lands down and a great Aegis saves the life of Cubo for the moment, but Zeros helps out as well. Man, craziness right now.
This is the kind of dynamic action I was expecting between Hunters versus Hunters. There's going to be no downtime of action here.
Well, there's the Gold Fury. FHB already. No one's showing up, and that's going to be too late for Barracuda. Throws out the arrows way too late. Oh, chasing the kill, though.
He was there right off the bat. One Tusky would stop that whole Gold Fury time, which is why we see Barracuda trying to chase anybody down, maybe finding a cleanup kill.
2 assists right now for the LG Hunter in his natural position with one of his characters that we don't get to see him play too often. But I think he likes the Artemis.
Pretty standard build compared to every single god here thus far. Neath going for Transcendence, as well as the Shibalanke, which is more kind of an in-hand based god rather than ability based god. However, just having the raw physical power on him helps have a lot of late game damage on this branching bola. Surprised not to see the Transcendence on either Yaman or Zeros.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, Yaman on the Amusing Cobby is looking for just the raw basic attacks, right? I mean, your bees do a lot of damage, as does your stinger, but the attack speed is really what you're looking for out of the Bumblebee. Now, he's going to build the Ikaval, and don't expect a lot of attack speed after that, because that comes by way of the hives themselves.
That's true, which is why we see him build into that Warrior Tabby. He's going for more physical power in the boot selection, neglecting the mana or the attack speed that you would get out of that Ninja Tab by really relying on the bees in the late, or the hive rather, of the late game.
What I like here out of the Minotaurs, though, try different things here for the different ability-based hunters. You can see Chiron and Medusa, Zeros and Pandacat, both going for either a Jotun's Wrath, which I think is kind of more standard thinking, or a Crusher, which is one of the more exciting and more applicable items when it comes to building a hunter. You basically get CDR for using your abilities and your basic attacks, which is exactly what you're doing anyway. So you don't even have to alter your playstyle to get use out of that item.
And you also still get a little bit of attack speed out of the Crusher, so
15.
It's kind of a good little mixture of everything that you would really want out of a hunter, at least in the early to mid game.
When it comes to Medusa, Chiron, gods like Uller, even Neath, these are the characters that I think Crusher is fantastic on, criminally underpurchased, and I think we're going to see it out of Zeros and Pandacat. Gold Fury went to Minotaurs last time. Juggernauts trying to start a Portal Demon, but won't have the opportunity. Adapting on the backline, lands right on down.
He's baiting himself a lot, forced to use the Aegis, but now it's Cubo Fred in a little bit of trouble. Petrify going to slow out the Kurnos, but with that speed buff, will get out of danger.
Slows on slows as the follow-up comes through from Pandacat. Barracuda going to flow in through the left-hand flank and just clear out the wave. Zero's mind on the target.
The aggressive nature out of Minotaurs. They use 4 ultimates in that encounter, whereas Juggernauts only use 2. And that could give them a little bit of a leeway here to start being aggressive and look for some kill opportunities. We're looking at Jeff with that ultimate that not only does a big burst of damage, but silences you if that hits. Barracuda with his Tusky that's going to ping pong and stun people. And then that global ultimate from Variety from solo all the way to the dual lane.
There's Raffer just barely getting out of there. Barracuda takes care of Pandacat, left-hand side. Middle lane, different story. Raffer gets away by the skin of his teeth. Jeff Hindla, Yaman, and some minions looking at the tier 1 tower. Variety wraps her on the back end and takes out Raffer. Nice up close and personal.
Great play from the Dignitas solo laner. He assisted the solo kill there from Barracuda onto Pandacat and then rotates mid to get a kill of his own, making some nice plays with this Neath that already has a fully finished stack Transcendence, dealing a lot of burst damage out of her abilities.
You know, I get it. I get it totally. But you can't assist a solo kill. That makes it
it's technically a solo. So if somebody... So think about it this way. You're losing a matchup. They're diving you. And the tower does 80% of the damage. You deal the other 20. You just got soloed, bro.
Yeah,
you got soloed.
put him in the
Mythos
tower.
comes out, you just got soloed, bro.
So are you calling Variety a tower?
I
Are you saying
mean,
Variety has no brain?
No.
Wow. Wow, Anatoly.
I'm going to file a report with HR with you later.
Listen, I'm here for a positive work environment. Left-hand side, not so positive. Jeff Hindley gets sniped out like by Panda Cat. And Yaman in trouble. Aegis is good for the moment, but Adapting has the moves and the grooves, taking down the B.
Nice 2 quick kills for the Minotaurs, trying to die Barracuda, forced to go in the Bs.
Tusky.
Pops that Tusky.
There's going to be a shot. Zeros is targeted. But Barracuda falls down. Raffer with the solo kill.
Shell is just going to be such an important... I see what you did there. I see what you did there. You were looking at me as you said it too. I had this whole thought. You just stopped my whole train of thought now. So, Shell is going to be a very important factor in this game.
Yeah, you got block stacks.
Yeah, once you upgrade it, you get those 2 block stacks absorbing those late game in-hands out of the Hunters. And the timing of it also is going to be very important. You want to try to communicate who's going to be the first person to pop Shell, and then the second, and then the third, because they don't stack.
Interesting. Remember that wonderful point, that big point I made about itemization for Hunters, going a different way for ability-based Hunters, looking more for the TDR? Well, they all built Brawlers.
It's still a good, cheap item to get in general. There is some self-sustain options that you're going to be able to mitigate. You know, you're looking at Kurnos, looking at Neath, you know, the HP 5 even from the Hives out of Yaman. So it's not a bad idea. I'm still expecting some of these Hunters to still go into the Crusher. Specifically, it looks like Zeros is going for that option. Then we also have an Aussie coming out of Benji, an item that's not very popular as of recent.
Raffer is just in a world of hurt. Getting hit by everything. Again, finds his way out just barely. And Panda Cat turns the tables and takes down Yaman.
Variety's going to get slowed by that Master's Will. And Variety's going to be relatively safe under his own tower. Still playing side by side with Cubo Fred. Barracuda, though, he's going to get doped by Adapting.
And there's help from the board. Couple of shots will hit. And there's Variety. Hit up Adapting on the long lane. Barracuda's diving.
Soloed. Just got soloed. Adapting yet again. Barracuda with a second solo kill of the game.
Zero's going to turn around. Nice stun. Just barely avoiding nonsense out of the 2 players diving his tower. Tier 1 goes down. Juggernauts with the... Is that it? No. We lost a Tier 1 tower on the right-hand side as well. So 2 towers down with Minotaur and Blood.
As 5 Hunters versus 5 Hunters, you leave any lane exposed for a little bit of time, and there goes your towers. And look what Panda Cat's doing as well. He even used that charge just to get a little bit of extra damage on that one in-hand under the tower. We'll be able to get this Tier 1 tower, getting his team that 500 gold, and keeping the game very close and even.
Yeah, it's a big play. Yaman shows up on the left side to deal with it, but there's someone in front. There's someone behind. Knocks him up, and there's going to be Yaman in the safer spot than he was before. Jingwei Raffer couldn't make that one happen, huh?
No, not quite yet, but still forcing out the egg is very important. A little bit of a timing. It's 145 more seconds on that second relic. Gold here is not going to respond for a little bit of time, and Raffer, though, feeling very brave.
And again, just barely getting out. Raffer gets out of there so close. Our teams are going to regroup. And I'm curious to see what these guys are thinking. Let's ride along with Juggernauts.
Alright, I got all the red stuff.
They're right here. Shablanke is super hooked in lane.
Alright, it's good skill, dude.
They might be stealing our red. I haven't seen Duo in a little bit.
Alright. Be careful on this section.
I got ult up.
Expel on here.
It's up.
Alright, we're chilling.
You guys are fine here. Listen, I'm gonna reset before port comes up. I'm gonna get second active.
That's
Do we have a sprint? I'm gonna pick up sprint for everyone.
Do back center.
I have a sentry. I have a sprint heading up.
Our speed is spawning soon too.
Okay.
Might wanna watch out for that.
Even with Jeff Hindler playing Izanami, just thinking as a support, I'm going to get sprint for everybody. I have a sentry ward, just like he's playing the true support protection role.
Utility style player. Doesn't matter if he's playing a natural guardian or a hunter. If he's playing in the game of Smite, he's looking out for the greater good of his teammates.
It's fun and it's interesting, you know, looking at the shot, like you said, I would have expected the Neath. Looking for the root. I've got the root, he's rooted.
Here's the Nolty, yep.
Yeah, even the Unravel as Raffer gets in trouble one more time. No ult available. Trapped up And Barracuda gets the kill. There's going to be the response from Minotaurs, and the lights are out.
Trying to escape, Barracuda will get out of danger yet again. Great safety. Now, sometimes the Stinger getting it is too risky, but not risky. It's adapting as he crashes on in.
Benji gets a kill, 2 stacks of that passive, swinging and dealing and dropping the poison. There, he's going to get a 3rd kill, 2 in this exchange, and he'll walk away wounded, but not out. 3-1-3 for Benji on the Xbalanque.
Great performance so far out of the solo laner. Benji being able to get those 3 stacks means he gets an additional 15 physical power. And with the attack speed that he has now, with this Ikaval, the Aussie, and the Ninja Tabby, these branching bolas in the late game are just going to start chunking Juggernauts.
That's really what I noticed in that exchange. Just all of a sudden, he's throwing those basic attacks so quickly. Zeros from around the corner. Gets the kill is Panda Cat. Gets the kill is Panda Cat. He said it twice because he did it twice.
No, diving into the duel lane, though, adapting with a solo kill, a legit solo kill of the game. We haven't really seen too many of those, as we have seen a lot of globals on the assist margin, but still taking advantage of a level 12 true support. Not really trying to get a lot of farm because he's allowed other players to get that farm in his place.
Big man Shibby on the right-hand side looking for the tier 2 tower here. And again, just look at him, just crushing this tower. Humo Fred is going to come through. He's down 4 levels to the Xbalanque. He's going to lose the tower and his life. The battle is good for Benji. And still just continuing it, man. This guy right here, he's the main man of this map right now.
Oh, wow. Minotaurs, though, they were able to get a Gold Fury for free. It seems that Juggernauts were a little bit too preoccupied. Those 2 double deaths there, unfortunately, by that Portal Demon was the root, adapting no relics to get out of that one.
Barracuda dropped the trap in front of where adapting was going to dash into, gets the kill, and then handed out another death to Benji, this time without the trap. Barracuda and Benji, I mean, listen, Barracuda's a hunter. We get it. But Benji, I'm excited watching this guy.
Everyone's name that's not Barracuda or Panda Cat is going to have difficult time in a hunter versus hunter situation. Look at this. Barracuda's just dodging all the shots from Raffer, truly recognizing the trajectory of the missile shots and the ultimate.
It's the Barra backstep, boys. Raffer in trouble here. Yaman having to deal with the Chiron shots. Barracuda from behind, barely any HP. Drops the hail of arrows, still in trouble. Dances away. Basic is good. Barracuda fighting with no HP.
Kiting left, right, and center. This hunter out of Luminosity just won't stop and still baiting himself out even further with the Aegis, and Panda Cat has nowhere to go. Even another crit to add the cherry on the top, and adapting, landing, getting his revenge.
Couldn't dodge that one. Variety, getting a dash on, slows the attack speed of adapting with the unravel. Quick snap ultimate, there's the backflip. Adapting gonna walk away. Honestly, nice mechanics with Variety underneath.
Variety really respected in his community here to be a highly mechanical player, no matter what god he's playing. And this Neith is just no different. He goes into the archers to make sure adapting will have a difficult time absorbing some of the inhins, and then he drops the unravel, which will heal off of the multiple targets of not only adapting, but the archers. Not only that, by hitting adapting, you lower his attack speed, using the ultimate to stun him just for good measure. Variety is just at the top of his game. Yeah. This is a different Variety from Season 2.
That was just fun to watch right there. And you know, it's Variety's doing it, Barracuda's doing it, and Benji are doing it. Those are the 3 guys that I'm staring at right now. Fire Giant started up by the Minotaurs.
Variety trying to find Raffer with the root, not able to connect on that time around, but will force him out as Yaman picks off Zeros with Cubo Fred right around the corner. Not something Minotaurs was really looking for as they were attempting to go for that Fire Giant.
Started up one more time. Variety trying to zone, but he's not a warrior anymore. He's a hunter, and he gets melted just like he should. Fire Giant going to be picked up by Panda Cat, dashing forward, still looking for the kills. This time around, Raffer gets out, but Benji does not. Barracuda on the good side of that one. Nice play.
The late game damage from this Artemis is truly shining here. There cannot be any breathing room around this Fire Giant, as every single player is going to be eyeing this objective. Nice route from Cubo Fred. Going to force Panda Cat out to the right-hand side. And look at adapting, trying to sneak on in.
Not going to be sneaking in anywhere. Mez puts 2 players in their tracks for the moment. There's the dodge away from the up and there's going to be the dodge away from training exercise as well. Raffer in trouble, Panicat down, double kill for Yaman, and the B reigns supreme, 4, 3, and 6 for the mid laner.
Juggernauts, though, they're trying to get the speed buff there. I would assume that they were going to go straight for that Fire Giant. Every second matters. And Adapting's in the sky. He's looking to try to do some damage here. Zeros is right around the corner.
Adapting, circling, not landing down just yet.
Wasting his
Fire
mana.
Giant still being brought down there. Looking on the back end is going to be Adapting. Targeted by the Neath character. Brought down again by Yaman. Kill number 5. And they pick up the Fire Giant one more time.
That was very wise of them to actually go for that speed buff. Zeros is going to force to go in that Aegis, but he gets caught in the trap!
Stuck there, Zero's in trouble. Crits are good at a Barracuda, and he turns back around, slays the Fire Giant, 19-17, and the Juggernauts are running it.
Barracuda was boxing 1v2 inside of Xbalanque Ultimate. The darkness does not phase him. He was bred in it.
1v2 in the darkness while dealing with the Fire Giant, takes one out, turns around, shoves 3 more shots into the objective, and goes, yeah, I'll take it.
No problem.
Easy.
This is his natural role, and he's been shining here. I'm really surprised that Minotaurs gave this kind of... Now, I get the mindset here, right? Artemis doesn't have a natural escape.
Yeah.
Try to abuse Barracuda playing the Artemis. And unfortunately for them, they're allowing Barracuda now into this late game. He's level 20. He has Rage Complete. He's going for another crit item. Normally, Hunters don't build crit because of how tanky frontliners are in normal Conquest games, but because everyone in this game is Hunters, it makes it a lot easier just to be able to 3-shot somebody with a Rage Deathbringer combination.
Yeah, you know, I see the Chinsai coming out, and I kind of question it. You know, the Chinsai are fantastic against players that have huge health pools. Everybody's a Hunter. I mean...
There's no need for Chinsais here, honestly. We're looking at a very squishy gods out of everybody. There's some shells on the board, so that's going to hurt a little bit in that aspect.
Honey laid down. Yaman in trouble as a dash forward from Zeros. Puts himself in trouble. Yaman picks up the stinger, and he's ready for round 2.
Where did he go? Back to the graveyard, but now Benji in a 1v2, trying to bait out a little bit, forcing out the Aegis out of Variety. Landing in is Adapting, finding the Mez onto Yaman. Nice kill from Benji, but he's in a lot of trouble without his escape.
Yeah, he misses a couple of shots, and Cubo Fred sends him right back to the fountain. And the Juggernauts now still have 4 players with their Fire Giant. Yaman did go down for the count, and you're seeing the 2-man push. Left side, 2 players. Mid lane, 2 players. No one on the Minotaurs playing defense. You know why?
Why?
Well, they're all dead. That was easy, Tolly. Come on, man.
I mean, it's Adapting. If anyone's going to hold 1v4, it's got to be Adapting, right?
All right, let's see it. Here he is. He got stunned, and he's walking back to the fountain.
I mean, to be fair, he's playing Apollo. There's not much... I was trying to give him a little bit of credit, you know?
I mean, he gets a lot of credit usually.
Adapting, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can.
Zeros can. Or Benji, or Raffer, or Panicat, or everybody else, because SMITE is really a team game. It takes 5 players to beat 5 other players. Yeah. Too real?
Too real.
Caravan doesn't like it either. Zeros and friends on the back line trying to deal with everything else. You know what? I'd really like to see experience per minute right now. I think that'll really tell the tale of how this game is going. There it is. 682 XPM coming out for Barracuda. And I mean, just obviously, again, and look at it. The 3 players that we were talking about, Variety, Benji, and Barracuda are 3 of the top 4 players here with the XPM. They're just able to really farm their way out of the lane and then transition that and turn that into kills. It really is the whole story.
Between Hunters and Soul Laners, those are your 2 players that should be able to fully optimize the farming potential out of the SMITE map. Because they're left alone so often, the back harpies are left to their own. They're able to find the solo experience without being able to share with junglers or supports, and that's why they're at the top of the charts.
Yaman gets his hive killed, but still on the chase. Raffer stunned out by the Neath, and there's Kilo Fred.
Nice.
Knock up, knock down. Barracuda puts 2 dozen on the board for the Juggernauts. And with all the towers gone, they only have the Phoenix remaining. Juggernauts in the lead.
I thought that he was able to get away from that one as he found a nice little beautiful knockup, but not able to find agility after the fact. The ultimate from Cubo Fred forcing everyone out.
Benji turns the lights out and barely escapes. Just running away, but the sprint is good. Adapting. He once stood there, and now he lies.
And there goes Zeros as well. Third victim from the Minotaurs. Juggernauts are going on an absolute tear. They don't have fire jump, but they don't really need it. They have 4 hunters sieging one poor little old Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, this is the power of the hunter, ladies and gentlemen. They come through early game, maybe a little bit sleepy. Late game, absolutely the opposite. Panicat turning this one around, taking out Variety as he gets a little too overexcited. Barracuda's going to head back to base, and we'll see everybody kind of reset one more time. Fire Giant spawning in a matter of moments here on Atoli. And I think we see the objective, and then I think we see the win.
Should be the case. Left side will have some fire minions flooding in that lane. It's going to be difficult for Minotaurs to dedicate anybody realistically, except for maybe adapting, since he does have that global ultimate, to be able to defend the left side and then transport himself on his chariot to defend that fire giant. But the way Juggernauts have been playing these team fights, it's very difficult for Minotaurs to defend it unless they're the ones that go for it first.
I like the play coming out for the Minotaurs. You absolutely have to go all in to find something like this. Barracuda takes out Raffer over there in the mid lane, but it's all about the objective right now. Adapting in the recovery frames, loses half of his HP. Barracuda takes out 2, and Barracuda takes out 3.
He has a triple kill going for the quadra. He gets it!
4 kills, 1 scenario. Barracuda takes down the team. Zeros is the
He's
only
screaming.
one that's remains.
Barracuda is screaming, "Give me the Penta, Zeros! Come here!"
Zero says, no.
No, mate.
Mate?
Yeah, he says mate all the time.
No, he's from Sweden. He's not Australian.
No, but he hangs out with so many Australians and people from England.
I don't think he says mate that often. Does he?
Have you seen the Dignitas videos?
Yeah, you're right. I have, mate. All right, you know what, Tully? 1-1. 1-1. You got me on that one. I will admit defeat.
I mean, what did I get you on? Or what did you get me on earlier? The solo kill?
Yeah.
Or the one that was too real?
Oh, so I'm 2-1 then.
I was just curious which one you're counting, because you're the scorekeeper apparently.
No. I'm being fed by production. Production says I'm the best.
That's Jeremy Daly.
Wow, you did that one. You lose
2-2.
a point. You
Production
lose.
just gave me a point.
No, you lose a point for that one. Variety picks up Raffer. This could be the beginning of the end, folks. Barracuda gets a kill as well. Jeff Hindley in trouble. Zeros turns around, gets the kill, gets 2 kills. Panicat gets 3. Turn it around. Big defense coming out for the guys on the Minotaurs.
3 for 3. The ultimate from Variety makes that a 4 for 3. Now trying to find the last kill onto Benji. If they find this kill, they need to find it if they want to be able to close out the game. They find the root. He's just taking away. The shots are going to be chucking into the swag backflip.
Oh, Variety getting the kill in the cleanest way possible. Zero still alive, left side, defending the Phoenix that has just respawned.
This could be game.
Variety and Jeff. Barracuda did the carrying through the mid and the early, and let's face it, the late game.
The Titan.
Can they kill the Titan?
The Titan is so low from the fire minions. That's going to be it. Juggernauts
He gets
are
one.
going to sweep.
Jeff kills the player,
No!
running away, solo as the
End
Titan.
it!
It's all
End
up
it,
to
Jeff!
Jeff Hindler, and he gets it. The